This is a Whatever Wednesday.
Hey everybody, it's Whatever Wednesday. He's Ben, I'm Greg, and today we have...
You didn't leave room for the title.
Right here, there's a title.
Okay, boom. All right, so we have rocks glasses in front of us.
With the little round half circles of doom.
Yeah, so normally we don't have ice, but this is Whatever Wednesday. We don't usually drink just regular bourbon on Whatever Wednesday.
But sometimes we do.
Right, but this time we've got, bam, this is Slow and Low Rock and Rye. So this bottle was given to me by a friend. Hello, Amy, thank you.
Thank you.
And this one is, it says in the front, and before I ever got to reading the sides of it, I looked at this and it said, straight rye whiskey, rock candy, raw honey, aromatic bitters, and a navel orange.
Navel
Which
orange.
kind of spells old-fashioned, right?
Very old-fashioned.
So then I looked on the side and it says our proper old-fashioned. So this is basically a pre-mixed cocktail.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because one of us, me, makes old fashions on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah. I do the occasional old-fashioned as well. I like them. Do you have a knife?
Too. Ben is anti-plastic.
Oh, here we go. I found the little serrated edge there.
Seriously?
So we got the rocks glasses because this is meant to be poured over ice.
Very light pop.
Yeah.
Glug, glug, glug.
It's really kind of a, I don't want to get too much ice in there.
Interesting bottle, like a very wide neck.
It is, yeah. It's kind of weird.
There's probably a joke or two that could be made, but we'll just let it go.
My ice tends to melt pretty quickly from the ice maker in the freezer, so.
Because that's thermodynamics, kids.
Yeah, well, you know, it's not like a clear ice ball or anything, so. I guess we don't really have to do the nosing or whatever. I mean,
Well,
it smells like a nice old fashioned.
frozen water.
Yeah, let's go in for the flavor here.
Oh, yeah, it's very orangey. There's an orange flavor, whether it's artificial or
Sure.
whatever.
All right, let's try this
All
out.
right, let's.
Oh, I like that just fine.
It's orange forward. Mm-hmm. So I think they make a regular rye.
Wrong! It's got the old-fashioned vibe to it, but I agree with you. It's definitely orange forward. Very sweet.
It has, like, I make an old fashioned that is so different from this that it's hard to compare them or call them the same thing.
So, Greg and I make very, very different old-fashions.
Agreed.
Greg's, and I said this in a recent video,
Yeah, but you can say
which
it
may
again.
or may not have come out by now.
Yeah.
Greg's old-fashions are like 8 ounces.
No, they're not that big. They're anyway, well, whatever percentage. Like, they're close to 50-50.
But yeah, it's
Simple
50-50
syrup
simple
bourbon.
syrup bourbon.
And
Whereas,
a couple of shots of the bitters.
yeah, I do the more traditional, like a teaspoon or two of simple syrup, dashes of bitters, and then
How much bourbon?
usually 2 ounces.
Oh.
And then the orange peel, you know, you squeeze the orange peel into it.
Yep. Occasionally I do that, but usually we're out of oranges.
This is really good. I'm impressed by this. This is kind of like my old fashions tend to be a little bit, because I don't put quite as much of the sweetness in them. So they kind of have a little bit of a spice profile because of the bitters.
And maybe
You know?
more of the bourbon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is nice and sweet, but it's great over ice.
So
Like,
I would say, well, it's not super sweet. There's some sweetness.
it's sweet, but it's definitely, like you said, orange forward for sure.
It's orange forward.
I like that just fine. I'm not going to have a problem at all getting through this bottle.
I'm almost tempted. I'm going to do it.
You're going to do a shot of it?
I'm curious what this tastes like.
Just on its own?
On its own.
It's not supposed to be drank like that, according to their instructions on the side of the bottle, but you know what? Let's give her the proverbial whirl here.
This is not a shot. It's just a very small sipping vessel.
Still tastes pretty good, actually.
It's sweeter.
Yeah.
The ice cube definitely cut a lot of the sweetness.
Well, like I said, these are terrible ice cubes. They melt pretty quick. So.
Yep.
Let's do some shots.
I would not recommend this as a shot whiskey, like taking shots of it. Like this is well, I suppose it probably wouldn't be bad for shots, but it's got a good flavor to it to just sit and sip on.
I don't know people who drink shots of anything.
They're out there.
Yeah, they are.
You know, when I wore a younger man's clothes, Greg, I would occasionally take a shot of something, but yeah, this is really great to just sit and sip on. This is going to be a nice like summer evening. You know, you're in a mood for an old fashioned. You don't want to make one. This is honestly, I'm really impressed with it. I really like it. You being an old fashioned drinker that's extremely sweet old fashions, like is this a little more in your wheelhouse than?
It's not. You know what I should do? I don't have just a version of their rye to compare it to, but I do have other ryes. So I do need to make some old fashions with rye as opposed to Maker's Mark.
So is this not sweet enough for you?
I don't know.
Because I think this is extremely sweet.
I think, so this is the hard part. Yeah, the ice cubes have ruined it, but I'm getting a little bit of artificial flavor. Like there's some flavor in there that is not cane sugar.
Okay.
So, and the rye, we have done a few reviews of rye on the channel. I like rye, but I don't love it. Like, you know what I mean? It says the bourbon note because we love bourbon and I love bourbon. And so I tend to do old fashions with bourbon.
Sure.
And I put way too much simple syrup in there, I acknowledge, but I love it that way. I think I should do some old fashions with one of our ryes. And like we've done some MGP ryes recently.
I've done old fashions with ryes.
Well, I haven't.
They're good.
So I don't have a...
But it's much more like spice forward,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. So
Whereas I think this is actually sweeter than the old fashions I usually make.
You should do a comparison, a rye old fashioned versus this.
Okay.
And I need to do some more rye based.
A rye old fashioned, a bourbon old fashioned, and then just this poured on the rocks.
There you go.
And then
this
mix
is
them up
84 proof, so you know, stay low on the proof.
Sure. I don't know how much this is, like I said, but I really enjoy this.
Yeah, I think it's actually really good.
Yeah. Now it may not be your
It's
normal,
probably not my favorite, and
your normal old fashioned profile, but
Yep.
for me, it's actually sweeter than the way I usually make them, and it's really good.
But use a good ice cube, and no offense, he grabbed ice cubes right before the review.
Just from the freezer.
But
so here's what I would say this is great for.
you know what? We need to do a video about ice cubes. I think we should.
I know, because you have an ice cube maker that's great. Mine is shit. I've got the sphere that's supposed to make clear ice cubes, and I've never gotten a clear ice cube out of it, and I've tried everything. So yeah, we should do that for another video. But here's what I think this is great for. I feel like this is a good kind of summer evening. Well, you could even do this in the winter though, because it's got the old-fashioned vibes to it a little bit. But this one's a little more citrusy, so I get kind of a summer vibe from this.
I don't. I get the citrus, and well, it's all watered down now. It's almost lemony.
I think you had it right the first time.
Lemony. Lemony wickets.
Boy, I gotta tell you, we did a couple reviews before we got to this.
Anyway, I'll let it go.
Greg needs a nap.
It is a bit of a citrus forward.
Yeah, for sure.
But it feels a little artificial in flavor. And that's the only downside to this, I would say.
Sure. What I think this is great for, if you like old fashions, you want to go on like a camping trip or like a, maybe you're going to a hotel or something like that. You like to drink old fashions, but you don't want to bring all the mixers.
Up inside the hotel?
No, one or the other.
Oh.
Or, if you want to send a tent up inside the hotel, you can do that as well. But if you want to go someplace and you want to bring, like, say if you really like to drink old fashions, you don't want to bring
Paris.
all the...
Do you think this would work well in Paris?
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't want to bring bitters and simple syrup and a bottle of bourbon and
then
an
it's
orange
perfect.
peel, it's perfect for that. If you like old fashions, I really think that you can enjoy this one. It may not be the most high-class old fashioned if you're snooty about it, but yeah, it's just great it's easy. You can throw this on the rocks and drink it anywhere, without having to do the whole mixing process and all that stuff. So,
done.
Well, yeah, but you make those weird old fashions. Like I make the classy ones.
I will acknowledge
You know,
that mine
I
are.
peel the orange and I squeeze the
I
orange.
do a little
rind
orange
into
rind
it.
thing. I do that occasionally when we have oranges.
Anyway, I think this is really good.
I like it a lot.
I would say thumbs up. I don't know the price again. I've said that 3 times now. But I mean, if it's $50, I don't know about that. But if it's 30
I
or
feel like it's 25 or 29
yeah,
in that range.
yeah, absolutely. This is a great bourbon to take to like a party or something like that.
It's
When
a
you
rye and flavored. at
or
that.
yeah, I suppose it's not a bourbon. Bourbon note, we're used to saying that. So.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway, if you like old fashions, check this out. See if you like it. May save you some steps of actually making an old fashioned. If you're having a beach day, perfect for that. Sitting down on the beach,
So would
you don't want to
set
do
the
like
tent up on the beach?
yeah,
Oh.
exactly. Right next to a hotel. We need to end this immediately. This has been Rock and Rye, slow and low, pre-mixed old fashioned on the Bourbon Out. Whatever Wednesday. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Thanks for watching. Cheers.